Right now, your biggest dream isn't being destroyed by failure. It's being murdered by comfort, quickly, one ordinary day at a time. That's why millions of people wake up every morning believing they're making progress, when in reality, they're only repeating yesterday. The frightening part? Comfort doesn't tell you to give up. It tells you you still have time. And that single sentence has stolen more dreams than failure ever will, because failure wakes you up. Comfort puts you back to sleep. So before this video ends, ask yourself one question. Are you building the life you want, or simply protecting the life you've settled for? Because once you see what comfort has been doing behind the scenes, you'll never look at your normal life the same way again. Asterisk. There is a strange moment that comes into almost every person's life. It doesn't arrive with a warning. There are no alarms, no dramatic collapse, no single decision that changes everything. Instead, it happens quietly. One ordinary day becomes another, then another, until weeks become years, and years become a life you never intended to live. The frightening part isn't that people stop dreaming. It's that they slowly stop noticing they have. Comfort doesn't ask you to abandon your ambitions. It asks for something much smaller. Just today, read today, delay today, play it safe today. Tomorrow you can become the person you always wanted to be. Tomorrow. That single word has buried more dreams than failure ever could. Failure demands courage. Comfort asks for nothing. And that's why it is infinitely more dangerous. Imagine placing a tiny coin into a jar every single day. One coin seems meaningless. You don't even hear it land. But after 10 years, the jar is full. Life works the same way. Every comfortable decision is another coin dropped into the future you're creating. Skip today's workout. Guise that business idea. Avoid that difficult conversation. Stay silent when you should speak. Sleep a little longer. None of these moments feel life-changing. Yet together, they quietly become your identity. Because your life is never built by your biggest decisions. It is built by your repeated ones. This is the law almost everyone ignores. Your habits are not following your future. They are creating it, and your comfort zone knows exactly how to keep those habits alive. It never argues. It never forces. It simply makes the easy choice feel reasonable. That's its greatest weapon. Not fear, not pain. Reasonable excuses. I've had a long day. I'll be more motivated tomorrow. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. Listen carefully. Every one of those sentences sounds intelligent. But hidden inside each one is the same invisible message. Stay exactly where you are. The tragedy is that most people never hear that message. They only hear the excuse. And that's where everything begins to change. Because the greatest prison in the world isn't built with steel bars. It's built with comfortable routines that no longer challenge who you are. The question isn't whether you're capable of more. You almost certainly are. The real question is, how much of your potential has already been traded for the temporary comfort of today? Because once you discover the answer, you'll understand why your biggest enemy was never failure. It was the life that became just comfortable enough to keep you from becoming extraordinary. Hash part 2. But here's what makes comfort almost impossible to defeat. It doesn't live around you. It lives inside you, long before your circumstances become comfortable. Your mind does. The human brain was never designed to chase greatness. It was designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, survival depended on avoiding uncertainty. The unknown could mean hunger, isolation, even death. So your brain developed a simple rule. If it feels safe, stay. That instinct once protected your ancestors. Today, it quietly limits your future because your brain cannot always tell the difference between real danger and personal growth. To your mind, speaking in front of strangers feels dangerous. Starting a business feels dangerous. Changing careers feels dangerous. Having an uncomfortable conversation feels dangerous. Becoming the person you've never been feels dangerous. Not because those things will destroy you, but because they threaten the identity you've become comfortable living. And that's where the real battle begins. Most people believe they're fighting fear. They're not. They're fighting familiarity. There's a profound difference. Fear disappears the moment you act. Familiarity keeps calling you back long after you've moved forward. It's like an invisible rubber band. Every time you try to stretch into a better version of yourself, something pulls you back. Back to old routines, old habits, old excuses, old friends who secretly prefer the older version of you because your environment loves predictability. And so does your identity. That's why lasting change feels so uncomfortable. You're not just building new habits. You're breaking an agreement with the person you used to be. Think about a bird that spent its entire life inside a cage. Leave the door open, and many birds won't fly away. Not because they can't, because the cage has become familiar. Freedom feels uncertain. The cage feels safe. Now ask yourself, how many invisible cages exist in your own life? A job you've already outgrown, dreams you've convinced yourself are unrealistic, abilities you've never tested, conversations you've postponed for years, potential you've buried beneath routine. None of them have locked doors. Only familiar ones. This is why extraordinary people appear different, not because they possess a rare gift, but because they make a decision most people never make. They stop negotiating with comfort. Every morning they choose progress over permission, action over certainty, purpose over convenience. And here's the irony. The more often they choose discomfort, the less frightening it becomes. While the person who constantly avoids discomfort finds even the smallest challenge overwhelming. That's the hidden law of growth. The discomfort you avoid today returns tomorrow wearing a heavier weight. Ease your health today. Tomorrow asks for medicine. Ignore your finances today. Tomorrow demands debt. Guides your relationships today. Tomorrow brings distance. Guides your dreams today. Tomorrow brings regret. Comfort always sends the bill later, and the price is almost always higher than anyone expects. We'll come back to the one decision that separates people who spend decades trapped in comfort from those who transform their lives seemingly overnight. Because that single decision changes everything. It isn't the decision to become rich. It isn't the decision to become successful. It isn't even the decision to work harder. Those are only outcomes. The decision that changes everything comes long before them. It's the moment you stop asking, asterisk, how can I stay comfortable? Asterisk. And begin asking, asterisk, who do I need to become? Asterisk. That one question shifts your entire life, because success has never been about what you get. It's about what you become while pursuing it. The world celebrates achievements, but achievements are only shadows. Character is the substance that creates them. Every extraordinary person you've ever admired understood something most people never do. They didn't wait until they felt ready. They became ready by acting. Consider a sculptor standing before a massive block of stone. To everyone else, it's just rock, heavy rough. Ordinary. But the sculptor sees something invisible, a masterpiece hidden inside. With every strike of the chisel, the stone loses a piece of itself. From the outside, it looks like destruction. In reality, it's becoming. Your life follows the same principle. Every uncomfortable choice chips away at the person you've outgrown. Every disciplined morning removes another layer of doubt. Every difficult conversation carves away fear. Every promise you keep to yourself shapes a stronger identity. Transformation doesn't happen when you add something new. It happens when you remove everything that no longer belongs. That's why comfort is so deceptive. It encourages you to preserve every version of yourself, even the ones that are holding you back. It whispers, don't change too much. Don't stand out. Don't risk being judged. Stay where people expect you to be. But history has never remembered the people who stayed comfortable. It remembers those who were willing to become uncomfortable long enough to become unforgettable. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. From the outside, it looks as though nothing is happening. Darkness surrounds it. Pressure closes in from every direction. If the seed could think, it might believe its world was ending. But the pressure wasn't there to destroy it. It was there to awaken what was hidden inside. Your difficult seasons often serve the same purpose. What feels like resistance may actually be preparation. What feels like uncertainty may be the beginning of your greatest chapter. The tragedy is that many people escape the pressure too soon. The moment life becomes uncomfortable, they retreat to what feels familiar, not realizing they were only inches away from growth. This is why persistence matters more than intensity. Anyone can feel motivated for a day. Almost anyone can change for a week. But very few people continue after the excitement disappears. And that is where greatness quietly separates itself from the crowd, not through dramatic moments, but through ordinary days repeated with extraordinary consistency. There will never be a perfect morning, a perfect opportunity, a perfect plan. Life doesn't reward perfect conditions. It rewards committed people, the people who keep moving when they feel uncertain, who keep learning when they feel inadequate, who keep building when no one is watching. Eventually, something remarkable happens. The habits that once demanded discipline become your identity. The actions that once felt impossible become normal. The person you once admired from a distance begins to look surprisingly familiar because it's you. And then you finally understand the lesson that comfort tried so hard to hide. The life you've always wanted was never waiting at the end of an easier road. It was waiting just beyond the point where most people chose to turn back. And once you cross that point, you don't simply achieve more. You become someone who no longer needs comfort to feel alive because you've discovered something far more powerful. A life driven by purpose will always outgrow a life protected by comfort. And that's why your biggest enemy was never failure. It was the comfort that quietly convinced you there was no need to become more.